John Dillinger, bank robber, America's first public enemy number one. From May 1933 until July 1934, Dillinger embarked on a crime spree that enthralled the American public and angered law enforcement. His exploits were tailor-made for the movies, better than any Hollywood writer could make up. Brazen robberies, quick getaways, and daring escapes. Shot down by FBI agents on July 22, 1934. But many mysteries still remain. Did Dillinger bury some of his loot in secret locations? Was it really him who was shot in Chicago outside the Biograph Theater? Join us as Dillinger relatives Mike and Travis Thompson, along with retired FBI agent Stuart Fillmore and Dillinger researcher Scott Umsteadt, investigate the mysteries.
In 2018, a research team excavated on the property that was the former location of the Dillinger farm. They found a mason jar with a 1934 road map with markings and dates.
My name's Mike Thompson. I'm John Dillinger's nephew, closest living relative other than my sister Carol. We're trying to see if we can find any other items that might be related to the map we found earlier.
I'm Stuart Fillmore. I'm a retired FBI agent. Long had an interest in the John Dillinger case. There's a couple of legends about John Dillinger. One is that his gang buried loot, some of their stolen loot. And the other legend is that an imposter was actually killed at the Biograph Theater in Chicago, and that Dillinger ultimately got away.
The team meet on the property of Shane Williams. Shane owns a large section of what was once the Dillinger farm. This section has not been developed and is practically untouched since the Dillinger family owned it. The team decide to dig deeper at the location where the map was found. It is believed that there might be something more hidden.
We're about where we found the map.
Yeah. He's about right on top of it right there.
Why did they find black?
So, roughly X marks the spot, right?
After determining that the map was buried alone,
Right there.
the team moves back to check other possible targets.
That's it. What is that? That's a shotgun shell. It's the primer cap of a shotgun shell, I think.
Was this shotgun shell actually fired by John Dillinger? The team will have to do more research in order to date the artifact.
The FBI surveillance caught him coming out of the house with a shotgun, and it describes he goes to the orchard due north of the house, and we are due north of the house. So this was the orchard and a shotgun shell. So
We found a little bit of chain with a hook on it, which could have been off of maybe the old workhorses or something.
Found a few interesting items. One was a shotgun shell primer cap that clearly showed that it had been fired, but it's interesting, but it's not what we're looking for.
They decide to meet at Mike Thompson's house to go over the evidence that they found and to discuss a new breakthrough.
okay, guys, I tell you, after what seems like many years now of work and sweat and tears on this project, I think we finally have a breakthrough. I've been in contact with Spiros Batistatos of the South Shore Convention Authority in Hammond, Indiana. They are the owners of the pants that Dillinger was wearing at the Biograph Theater that are bloodstained. Spiros has agreed to allow us to have those pants tested.
That's great.
Oh, it's
That's great.
it's great. Mike, we already have your DNA at the lab. So tomorrow we're going to swab the pants, get that to the lab, and then get a result from that and compare that with you. So if that is a positive match, then we will know that those pants are Dillinger's, will have his DNA.
Pretty much that was him at the biograph.
And that was him killed at the biograph. So we will have a definitive result one way or the other. We have a two-pronged thing. We want to settle this mystery of this Dillinger imposter once and for all. And I think we are now on the final stretch to do that.
Yeah, because if it matches, it's done.
Case closed on that issue.
If
And
it
that's
doesn't
great.
match,
If it doesn't match, there's a
Then
lot
they
of
need to
implications to
adjourn.
that. And I'm sure if that happens, we're going to have a lot of discussions around this table about that.
Stuart, how confident are we that we're going to be able to extract DNA?
So that's what I wanted to explain. We don't know in the last 85, 86 years how these pants might have been stored.
The clothes that the victim at the Biograph Theater was wearing were returned to the Dillinger family shortly after his death. The pants were held onto for years by John's sister Audrey. They were eventually given to Joe Pinkston for his John Dillinger Museum and later sold to the current owner.
You know, Audrey might have kept them out on the back porch for 10 years. And so they had sunlight bearing down on them every day. If that's the case, then it's going to be tough to get DNA off of that.
Is there a list for like a chain of custody that they have kept from where they got it from?
once Pinkston got it, probably.
That's one thing I'll be talking about with Spiros tomorrow, is what his corroboration of those pants is, and what evidence he obtained from Pinkston, and in turn what Pinkston obtained from Audrey. Something that I found in the FBI file. This is a report that was done a few days after the biograph, and it actually has an inventory of the things that Dillinger had. The clothes he was wearing, what was in his pocket. And one describes one pair of gray pants containing laundry mark in pocket number 355.
So,
Also, it has 40 in parentheses. I don't know if that means size 40. I don't quite know what 40 means yet.
that was the hunting suit that I had. That was John's.
Okay.
It was size 40.
Size 40? Okay. So
that may be.
that's probably what that means. So we're looking for a size 40 pants with a laundry mark 355 in it. And so that will tell us that those are more than likely going to be the pants. That's going to be hard to fake that, because this was not a public document back when I assume, was it your mother or was it Audrey?
Audrey had the pants and Mom had the shirt.
So when Audrey gave the pants to Joe Pinkston for the museum, this would not have been known. This was not public, okay? So this is a good way for us to kind of independently corroborate.
See if those pants.
Exactly, okay? If we have a positive match, we essentially solved the mystery of the imposter. Great. So then we're still left with the mystery of this map. What is this thing? What is it? It was buried in a mason jar for some reason. That is still the mystery to be solved. And we have a lot of leads to follow in that regard. And this is just such a great development for what we're trying to do.
Stuart Fillmore, Shane Williams, and Scott Umsteadt have traveled to Hammond, Indiana to obtain DNA samples to compare with living relative Mike Thompson. In order to ensure there is no DNA contamination from living Dillinger relatives, it was decided that Mike and Travis will remain in Indianapolis. After consulting with staff of the South Shore Convention and Visitors Authority, Stuart and Scott suit up. The pants are unwrapped for inspection.
Do you think that's from like a wallet?
It looks like
Like
that
a
to me.
leather,
Maybe,
like it's
and
just
maybe
stained.
sweat.
Like
and-
it's just stained.
Yes.
Nah.
But see, sweat, whatever that is in the crotch, it all potentially could contain DNA.
Yeah.
That has the NRA.
The National Recovery Administration, or NRA, was one of President Franklin Roosevelt's New Deal programs. It was designed to create fair practices and set prices among the country's manufacturing industries. In 1935, it was disbanded due to a Supreme Court ruling, thus dating the pants between 1933 and 1935. Is this the laundry mark mentioned in the FBI inventory? After close inspection, faint markings can be seen. With digital enhancements, the numbers 355 can clearly be seen. These are the pants that were worn by the man shot by FBI and East Chicago police outside the Biograph Theater in 1934. Stewart inspects the pants to find the best place to obtain a DNA sample.
Right at it this way. Just go straight down here, straight down there.
Sure.
It is decided to cut a swatch from the inside lining in the crotch area to send to the lab. After removing the swatch, Stewart carefully puts it into an envelope for shipment to the lab. Stewart and Shane prepare the documentation needed for the lab. The team then travels to a local UPS store to express ship the sample to the lab. Will they finally have the answers that they're looking for? Will the DNA prove once and for all that John Dillinger was killed in 1934? Or will it show that the FBI killed the wrong man? Will history be rewritten?